Welcome to the Friends and Rivals podcast.
Was it Robert Esch, whose nickname was Chico? Because he had his first initial and last name on his stick. And when he got called up, one of the players on his team was like, when the fuck did we sign Chico Resch?
Let's talk Devils and Islanders, let's talk Penguins and Rangers, but let's not talk about Flyers, cause they're a bunch of fucks, which no one can deny,
Don't try it till you've had it. This is episode 95 of the Friends and Rivals podcast. I am one of your hosts, Tom Harkness. Joining me each week are
Stephen Wojtowicz, and I want to congratulate Patrick Elias on his nomination to the Hall of Fame, the Czech Hall of Fame.
Hey, Bill Fougere, and screw you, Patrick Elias.
Nick Larita, I'm just going to chime in or harp on there. Fuck Elias.
I just figured if we were going to celebrate Brian Leach's nomination last week, we could at least mention Patrick Elias's
that was
nomination.
at the end of the show. That's
a good point.
At the end of the show.
Yeah, I know, but I don't usually get to talk at the end of the show.
Wasn't it Elias and Sikora that got stuck in the snowstorm that one years and years ago?
It was Elias and Zajac.
It was Zajac.
Yeah, they were stuck on 78. They were stuck on Route 78, and they thought they were going to die in the car.
Oh, that was great.
That's an actual story?
Yeah, no, that's a real story, yes.
Yeah.
On their way to a game, they thought they were going to die in the car because they got stuck, and there was no car within sight.
What idiots get stuck in a snowstorm on a major highway in New Jersey?
I
What
wonder.
idiots do that?
I wonder.
If you haven't done that.
I think I've seen. I think I see two of them right now.
That was the infamous blizzard of '96. That was wonderful.
Were you driving during that?
No.
Oh yeah, who knew a Ford Taurus would just be the master of the road on a day like that?
That thing was a fucking tank. All right, so Nick, maybe you don't know the story. We'll tell you. So The Rangers had an open. This is when Billy was a Ranger fan. The Rangers had an open practice at Rye Playland where they practiced. So Billy and I planned to go for like 3 weeks. And the morning comes and we know that this snowstorm is coming. And I text him in the morning. Well, actually, I don't think we texted. I think I called you.
No. Maybe you mailed a letter to him back.
I think he actually phoned me.
No, I hit him up on his
landline.
I hit him up on his beeper, and he called me back. And we said, "All right, you want to go?" He's like, "Yeah, we're fucking going." I'm like, "All right, let's go." So this is much to the chagrin of my girlfriend at the time and Billy's wife at the time, or was
girlfriend.
We weren't married yet either.
No,
girlfriend
but
at the time.
you were well on your way.
Yeah.
So we go up there, no traffic. It took us about an hour to get up there. There was nobody on the roads. It was a Sunday. There was literally nobody on the road for good fucking reason. So we go and we watch the practice. It was awesome. And then we just, during the practice, you look outside and it's snowing. It's snowing pretty fucking hard. So it's time to go after the practice. And I got Alexei Kovalov and Nicholas Sundstrom's autograph, right? That was that day.
Yep. Sundstrom, yep. Mm-hmm.
So we get back in the car to go home, and it's dumping snow, and they close the New Jersey Turnpike while we're on it, and we literally stopped every 10 miles to clean the windshield.
Less than 10 miles. It just seemed like it was 10 miles because it took that long. It took because it was maybe like 15 minutes, but we'd have to stop it, and just clear off the windshield, push other people out of the snow.
Oh my God. So I had parked my car at Billy's house, which was in Edison, New Jersey, which he actually lives in his childhood home now. But I parked my 1989 Honda Prelude at his house. But to get back to his house and off of the turnpike, we had to go on 287 and get onto Route 1 to take the back road to his house. Yeah. When I say we literally could not see the exit from 287 to Route 1, Billy literally guessed where the exit was.
Just a guess. It was just experience of all the times I've been there. I used tree lining and landmarks and shit to kind of guess that I was still on the road.
they had those big like yellow garbage cans, right? And
Yeah.
on that exit, I think
That's how I knew where the exit was. Yeah.
yeah, we saw that. And I still had to drive home from Billy's house to where I was living at the time over by Edison High School. And
Yeah, like a mile away. How long did that take you?
That literally took me like 2 hours to get home. It was ridiculous. And my car was buried. And when I pulled to the side of my house, I used to have this little turnaround to where we went in the turnaround first and then parked. The car hit the turnaround and just didn't move anymore. And then I just left it there. I just turned the car off and left it there.
The place is any.
Close enough.
It had to be what? That was Jesus. We got out of the practice at what, 11? Maybe 10:30, 11 o'clock. I walked through my door at almost 6. It was dark out.
Wow.
It was,
Wow.
whew, those were the good old days.
Good day.
We got dumped on in 96. I think it was like 20 something inches, 30 inches. It was 2-3 feet. And then like those drifts, we had like 5-6 feet drifts, you know. That was the most I've ever seen as a kid.
And Billy only wanted to go because Jen said he shouldn't go. That was his motivation, I bet.
Yeah, that's a good motivation. Don't go. I'm gonna go.
I'm going.
Oh, damn close. She always tells me she was so close to us not being us anymore.
You tried.
Was that
Almost took her off.
Was that
Almost.
before or after she almost burnt my Brian Leach jersey?
I think after.
That was after, or the incident was after.
I think the blizzard was after the fire.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna make a joke, but I'm pretty sure you were still a Ranger fan at that point.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Well, Billy's dad had season tickets, and he inherited his dad's season tickets after that unfortunate event. And Jen was going to a game one night, and she didn't have a jersey for some reason. I don't know how the hell didn't she not have a Ranger jersey where we worked?
Because she had like 7 Sackett jerseys.
Wow.
No, it was early in our dating life. She had no jerseys.
So I let her borrow my authentic Brian Leach home jersey, and she wore it to the game. And that night she had a fire at her house.
Wow.
I thought I was never going to see that jersey again.
Well, I mean, it was just like an odd chance thing that happened because they were burning 350-watt lamps in the ceiling light for probably 2 years.
You're not supposed to do that.
How would that ever start a fire? When it's rated for like 60 watts per lamp.
It wasn't
light bulb's
the
a
code?
light bulb. No, light bulb's not a light bulb.
And I take it by you motioning to the side of the room that it's hanging now.
Yeah, that jersey has since been retired. Before I moved down to Florida, Steve had so graciously invited me to a Brian Leach signing where I got the jersey signed for free. Maybe I shouldn't say that.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
No.
Oh my God. Oh, oops.
You say we're good. We're good.
How many times have we told you, Bill? You can't say. How many
Well, I
times?
was trying to change the subject from the taboo thing that you said.
Yeah, and let's move on to the next topic.
We haven't even started. We did start the show.
Right.
Welcome, Bill.
What are we leading off with? We're gonna lead off with some. They had the owners meeting down in Florida last week. We didn't get a chance to talk about that because a lot of the meetings happened on Monday and Tuesday, and we were Monday night.
Plus, we're not owners, so
right. Yeah. So we'll get into two of the, at least in my opinion, the two key things that were brought up. One is the salary cap. It's going to go up $1 million next year to around what 83. What are they at right now? They're at 82. So
yeah,
$83.5 million next year, which is going to completely hamper every team. But I forgot who I read this from, but they said even if the Toronto Maple Leafs win the cup, which would probably give the NHL the most revenue possible for this season, that the cap would only go up to a maximum of like $86.5 million. So it would only raise $3 million of that revenue that they get. So I always thought that I heard something last year to where the revenues were up and they were going to split next year and this year in order the cap to go up at least a couple of $1 million, not $1 million. I guess that's off the table. but it looks like it's going to hamper everybody for next year.
Well,
Thought they had like a big TV contract. Thought all the TV money was pouring in now. What happened?
Well, they got to pay all that.
They
money
got to
back the
make up.
owners.
Yeah, they got to
Yes,
make up COVID
Right.
year money.
Yeah.
So maybe what they decided was take the big hit this year, don't increase it, as much as they could have, so that the year after, rather than split it over 2 years, you take the big hit this year, you take a little hit next year, and then you can raise it more in, 24, 25.
Yeah. Just for conversation. Next year, the Devils have 11 players signed at $52 million, and they have $31.5 million available on 11 players. That's pretty good.
No, it's not when one of those players is Jesper Bratt that you got to sign.
Yeah, but that's about
$8 million.
And it doesn't include Blackwood, because I honestly don't think Blackwood will be a Devil next year. But I'll leave that to you. The Penguins have let's see. They have 15 players signed at $63.5 million. So they got about $20 million for 7 players. The Icelanders have 19 players. So you're going to get the same team. You're going to get the same team you got right now, Nick. Just minus Parisi probably might not be back next year. And probably Varlamov, but you're going to put that money toward Mayfield and probably somebody else. But for the majority, you'll get the same team. 19 players at $73 million, $10.5 million available for 3 players. The Rangers have 12 players signed at 65.9.
But they don't have anybody.
You know what? Have anybody signed? You're right.
No, they don't. No.
$17.5 million for 10 players, where you have the 2 big ones. Well, the 3 big ones are going to be Hedel, Lafreniere, and Miller. Those will be the 3.
But those are all second contracts, no? Like they're going to be.
Yeah,
Hedel's going to be a third.
Hedel's has arbitration, is arbitration eligible.
So that's his third contract.
Miller and Lafreniere are just restricted free agents.
Yeah.
So whether they want to try and do a long-term thing with Miller, maybe, but Lafreniere is just a kind of a puzzle to me of what his next contract is going to be. So that's a kind of an outlook on all of our teams for next year with the cap only going up $1 million. But even when you think teams are in good shape, like with the Devils, right? $31.5 million for 11 players, but one of those players is that guy, Jesper Bratt. So it's going to be could be tight for everybody.
That 31 becomes 24 for 10 players, and then you're starting to have to be picky. They're going to benefit from Luke Hughes and Simon Nemec being 2 of the defensemen on rookie deals, but you still got to plug some holes.
Who are they replacing? Are they going to replace?
This is Severson's UFA at the end of the deal.
Right.
And I would assume they're going to move Graves. I think Graves is UFA at the end of the year as well.
Mm-hmm.
I would think both of them are going to be on the move.
Interesting.
And what I mean, one of Luke or Nemec definitely fits into Severson's role as being an offensive defenseman on a third pairing. For now, it's that Graves position of that defensive. They got a couple guys in Utica that can fill that position, but it's just a matter of who's it going to be. Is it going to be Ball? Is it going to be Okakutuk? Who knows?
What about the center for the 76ers?
Who knows if he's coming over, and
really?
he's more of an offensive defenseman anyway.
All right. So Luke Hughes, is there any issues with him handling that defensive role kind of physically, or you're just going to roll the dice and kind of take your chances, or would he'd be better off serving maybe a half a year down in Utica, getting used to larger bodies and the fast.
I honestly don't know. It's going to be interesting. First of all, it'll be interesting to see him during the World Juniors.
Yeah.
Even though he's going to be playing against kids his own age.
Starts what, tomorrow or?
No, it's usually the day after Christmas.
Okay.
So yeah, he's going to be playing against kids his own age, but he's going to be playing against kids that he doesn't normally play against, during the regular season, because he's going to be playing against guys from the OHL and the WHL. I don't know if he can handle it. I honestly don't know. It's going to be interesting to see at the end of. I'm sure. So there was a second period intermission interview with one of the developmental guys with the team, and he said for sure he's going to be up. As soon as the NCAA season is over, he'll be signed and playing somewhere in the organization.
Yeah, you're definitely not going to bring him up to the big club. Well,
he might get that. He's got 9. You can play him for that end of the regular season on that PTO.
No, but I think those PTOs are only available for the AHL. They're not available for the NHL.
Whoa.
The Devils have had guys do it.
If he plays in the NHL this year, he's burning a year of his contract.
No, doesn't he get 9 games no matter what?
9 games.
That's for junior players. He's not a junior player.
I think it works for NCAA guys too.
I don't know. I can't tell you yes or no, but that's just what I always thought. So you probably are right. I no denying that. But it's just going to be because I know Hughes had Jack Hughes rather had a tough time with the physical game, especially those first 2 years.
Oh, completely different. No. Yeah, completely different body types.
Okay.
Yeah. Luke is like 6'2". He's skinny.
Wait.
Like he needs to put weight on, but he's much bigger.
In ice hockey, any original Nintendo ice hockey game, is he the fat guy, the skinny real guy, or the skinny guy?
No, this is a solid question. Which one is he?
I would say he's the tall, skinny guy.
Okay. All right. In comparison to
knock him over.
In comparison to his brother, what is he? What's his brother?
Oh,
Middle?
His brother is this. You might as well make him the short, fat guy because he's short.
All right. Fair enough.
And the other thing that came out of the owners meeting was, and something I actually like, is the 84 game schedule. Just when you thought 82 wasn't enough, they're going to add 2 more games in there. They're going to do fewer.
No. If now, I just got to say, if they're going to do this, and Ovechkin breaks the goal record, I want an asterisk. I want a fucking asterisk.
But
That's
it's
all right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, but
it's not a season record, Bill.
Like, all right, if you scored 93 goals in a season on an 84 game schedule, okay, you got some beef. But not what you're thinking. But it does allow for the teams in the division to play against the other 7 in the division 4 times, because we're being cheated on a couple of games this year, especially Rangers Islanders are done after this week. Yeah. What the fuck kind of schedule is this? First off,
I think we got totally spoiled by like the years with what's it called during Metro.
Games. Oh yeah.
We had the 6 games against each other in 2020, right? 2020, 2021, 21. Yeah. But
even going further back than that,
they used to do 6 games,
in the late 2010s.
They did 6 games in the whole smaller groups, the three divisions,
right.
The 3 divisions,
You played the other conference, I believe, one time,
either home or away. Yeah,
right.
That was when we had 30 teams, 15 with 5 teams in each division. So that way it was like we played all 4 of those teams. That meant 6 times each. That was great. That was like the rivalries. I wish they would just go to that more so than what we have now. But maybe
12, there should just be 12 divisions, not 6. 12.
But if you did that, dude, it would be completely out of balance, because teams that play in the Metro against each other would probably have a lesser of a record than maybe teams that play each other.
No doubt. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's too out of balance if you did 6 times in a year. I get that.
Yeah. I get it. But
they should have 30. No, they should have 32 1-team divisions.
There you go. That's the way you do it.
Everybody makes the playoffs.
Every year.
Yeah.
So I actually, I saw this. I'm like, all right, 2 extra games, but to balance this out and give everybody more divisional games, it actually makes sense. I'm not, I don't like adding games to the season. I think the season is way too long as it is. But if you're only doing,
it's going to be the same amount of time.
It is. It's just 2 more games that are like
back-to-backs.
So I mean, it's not like
you
we give
wouldn't
a
even
shit.
realize the difference.
No. So we don't. But
That's all I
players
get. I don't
do.
give a shit about the players. Fuck them.
You're basically making their contracts worth less money by doing that. Effectively, per game they're making less money, so they're not going to get anything else out of it. So I don't know if they're going to be super happy about that. Probably not. But so the NHLPA gets to vote on this, right?
Yeah, they would definitely have to vote on that.
Yeah, they have to.
They have to. Yes.
It'd be interesting to hear what the players say about it because
They'll probably strike. They'll probably go on strike. It's been a couple of years.
Not over this. Not
been
over
a couple
probably
years.
ask for I'm sure they asked for some sort of concession here. Be like, something to come back. If you're
Maybe that's where the big jump in the salary cap is going to come.
Maybe. I don't know.
You give us these 2
Anything.
more games, we'll give you another $10 million per team.
Yeah.
And we're gonna widen the net 3 inches.
Well, that'll be separate. The players don't give a shit about that.
No, but that accounts for 28 games of the season. 24 more games of the season will go. 3 games against your other division in the conference. So the Rangers would play the Bruins and the Sabres and the Red Wings 3 more times during the course of the year. And then they play 32 games account for the other conference, 1 home, 1 away. It makes a lot of sense. I don't understand why they're not already doing this. Why would you sacrifice Rangers, Islanders, and Rangers Flyers for just so you can play the fucking Vancouver Canucks twice in a season? Doesn't make fucking sense to me.
Yep.
Sorry. I'm all for this. We should do this. This should go in immediately for next year.
Okay.
My opinion.
Done.
Ratified.
Done.
We're all in.
Ratified. That says Friends and Rivals podcast. Make it happen, NHL.
That's it. Come on, Gary, you're listening.
We're going to throw a John Hancock's on that one.
All right, let's take a ride on the Metro. Sponsored by rich, creamy, wholesome Nestle Quick. Hello, boys and girls. Do you hate the taste of regular milk and need energy? Try Nestle Quick. 1 sip and you can feel the energy in your muscles. Nestle Quick, now available in chocolate and strawberry.
They say the real men drink pink. Then I'm a real man for sure. But if you like the brown, I still love you for who you are. Because it's time for acceptance of everyone, all preference. We're all quick on the inside anyway. Nestle Quick, it does the trick.
Yeah, I didn't say it last week. I saw what you did there. I got it.
I love that intro.
You don't say it, the promo doesn't go in.
It was wholesome. It was wholesome. What's not wholesome right now is the Devils. And for as much as they annihilated everybody to start the year, they're having a little bit of a struggle right now.
It's taken 9 weeks to return to this position. This position you guys expected me to be in very frequently. It's taken 9 weeks to get back here. I feel like Tom did a couple of weeks ago. They're just completely lost. I don't know what the problem is. I mean, I know what the problem is. I don't know how they're going to fix it. 29 shots on goal versus the Rangers, 3 goals. 36 shots on goal against Dallas, 1 goal. 49 shots versus Philadelphia, 1 goal. 32 shots versus Florida, 2 goals. So that's a grand total of 146 shots on goal, and they only scored 7 times. That's a 952 save percentage against them this past week.
Correct.
So is it you're just taking easy shots, or are you just running into very hot goaltenders? And is it possible to run into 4 hot goaltenders in 1 week?
Yes.
How much? But also how are these high chance?
That's what I'm saying.
Chance?
Yeah. Is it just easy shots hitting guys right in the chest?
Yeah. I mean, because you can pepper the goalie. I mean, Isles have gotten by for years this way with under Trotz, was just letting people take shots that are super low percentage.
Yeah.
And they don't care. And then the number of times they won games with 30, 40 shots against is too high to really feel comfortable about. But
and really it's, you give up 2 goals against the Stars, you give up 2 goals against the Flyers, you give up 3 goals against the Panthers. One of them was an empty netter. So it's not their goaltending that's terrible.
No.
That's respectable. I think part of it is they were complaining that they weren't getting respect from the other teams. During their hot streak, they were like, nobody respects us, everybody still thinks and now they're getting a little respect, and teams are coming into New Jersey and they're getting up for the game. And now you're having to play against tougher teams that aren't letting you use your speed like you were able to do during the streak.
There were teams that weren't giving you respect? Ooh.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh my God.
One thing that is going to change is Blackwood's coming back, and we're going to see him either tomorrow night or Wednesday night. And not that I think he's going to make a difference, but I think having him in net is going to make the players, I don't want to say pay attention more, or it's going to have them play smarter. They're not going to want to give up odd man rushes. Him coming off this long break, especially with the history he has of being a very Jekyll and Hyde type goaltender. So I do think it's going to make a difference having him in net. Not that he's the difference, but the way the players play around him, that will be different. So the next 2 weeks is, so again, back-to-backs tomorrow, Wednesday, Carolina and Florida. And then they wrap the pre-Christmas break up with Boston. And then they start the post-Christmas stretch with Boston again. They play Boston in back-to-back games, both in New Jersey. Talk about stupid scheduling. And then Pittsburgh on the 30th, followed by Carolina again on the 1st. So 6 games, 6 very tough opponents. Again, I said last week or 2 weeks ago that I could have seen them go, 1 for 9 to finish out the month. It might be 0 for 10.
Do you think that teams have just started to, after 30 games of them being dominant, started to notice ways to play against them?
A little bit against the Rangers, definitely against the Flyers, even a little bit against the Stars. Teams are getting a lot more physical with them. Yes. And they have no answer for that. As a matter of fact, there was an incident on a face-off, Hischier against Barkov in the Panthers game, where Hischier was kind of like falling forward. So he stuck his stick out and he kind of cross-checked Barkov in the lower leg, and he wound up getting hurt. And that was in the first period. And the whole rest of the game, they were going after Hischier, and no teammates were really like stepping up to defend him. So again, they got them on Wednesday. People are saying Gertson should be called up for that game, just so that there's at least somebody in the lineup that'll scrap.
Well, you got Brendan Smith in the lineup. He'll do that. He'll stand up for his players for sure.
And Miles Wood to a certain extent, but they're not fighters like Gertson is.
Well, I wouldn't expect Miles Wood to. He just came back off of which game was that? No, that was against the Islanders. So that was a while ago.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe he was holding back a little bit just for concussion reasons, but
no.
That was a while ago. But you're right. That schedule.
It was brutal.
Next 2 weeks are worse than brutal. Worse than brutal.
And just one last thing. So again, since we're not going to be around next week, Luke Hughes, Team USA, Simon Nemec, Slovakia. They got another kid, Villain, who's going to play for Finland, and a surprise, Seamus Casey, who plays in Michigan, also made Team USA. So it's nice to see him and Luke Hughes, play together in Michigan, and now they're going to be on Team USA together. Actually, Luke Hughes is captaining the Team USA team. So
is that right?
Yeah, something to look forward to during the break.
Nice. I will turn over to the Icelanders who had a little bit of trouble in the desert.
Yeah, up and down week, to be honest. We went 1-1-1. No, 1-1, 0-1, I guess. There's no ties anymore. So it's 1-1-1. Sorry. It's fucking weird to me that we have this stupid thing. Anyway, So it's been this kind of, we're kind of going through the same phase. Maybe not exactly the same as the Devils right now, but Isles are
Hold
definitely.
on. I think it's 2-1. If you win the shootout, you just get a win. But
No, we didn't win.
It doesn't go as a regulation win.
No.
No, correct, but we yeah. So I don't know how they do that. They just do a win.
It still gets marked in the column as a W.
Yeah. Right.
It just doesn't get marked as a regulation win, which is like the first tiebreaker or some bullshit.
Right. But that didn't happen this week. Isles ended up losing in the shootout to Boston in their first game of the week, and then promptly losing a game to Arizona, and then in Arizona, and then beating Vegas in the desert. So really strange week because they played really well against Boston. Probably should have came away with that win. Didn't end up happening. They ended up losing. Yeah. And the worst part is like you get to the shootout and they make the first save. Varley makes the first save against the first shooter from Boston. Barzal goes down, scores, and then you're like, oh, we're up 1. We got like a high chance to win this, and then we lost Tom. You're on mute.
I think he just turned his video off.
Tom's also on mute.
That's okay. You can keep talking.
All right. Anywho, so Boston goes out. We lose. We end up losing in the shootout after being up 1 goal. They just 2 goals straight, and we don't score anything. Sucks because you're like, man, we should have came out of Boston with that win. Didn't come out of it with that win. And we go 2 days off, go into Arizona. Let that game get away from us. Another comeback kind of try to get that game within 1, and then with a minute and a half left, empty net, and then they weren't able to score the last tying goal. But they were up 2-0 against Arizona. They should have won that game. They just let too many goals in, man. A lot of bouncing pucks, some sloppy goaltending, but just the theme has been just sloppy in our own zone. That's been really the biggest problem. Defense and goalie have been not really, in sync. They just haven't been playing well. Varlamov has been our best goaltender the last couple weeks. And of course, in the game against Vegas, he ends up getting pulled. He came out himself in the third period after like 30-something saves. There was like 35 saves he had made in the game already. He got something happening, tweaked something. Didn't even look like anything happened, but something happened and took a little shot or something. A little nothing thing, but something didn't feel right. He pulled himself out of the game, and now he's out day to day, I guess. They don't tell you what's going on. So he's so they brought Schneider back up to Sorokin this week until we'll see what happens from there. But anyway, yeah, like not even like getting to the games. We've had just some sloppy play in their own end. Goals have not been hard to find. I mean, 3 goals against Boston, 4 against Arizona, 5 against Vegas. I mean, we're not talking nothing here, but led up 4 goals, led up 5 goals. That's not their game. So they have to shore that up. Now, Adam Pelech has been out with an injury. He's not on the road trip, which concludes against the Rangers in New York on Thursday this week. So, I mean, he wasn't making the trip, obviously, for, the Arizona, Vegas, and Colorado game, which is tonight. And that's three games or 4 nights. But he could be back for the Ranger game, obviously. Rangers live in New York, so could be that way. But that will help when he comes back. But the rest of the defense has got to get their shit together. They haven't quite figured out, I think, the new defensive system with Lambert and coaching it. I think just working the kinks out. Obviously, offensively, they've been better. And Lou himself has gone on and said, hey, the team is obviously getting more goals, but that will lead to the defense letting, not being as tight as they were. And it's expected. But the good news is they've seen more goals, obviously, and it's been better. Weirdly, I was looking at who's been scoring the goals, this year, just because I thought it was kind of like, hey, who's been the goal scorers for the team? And wouldn't you know, shit, I don't have it up right now. How do I have it up? Here we go. So leading the goals for our Isles, Brock Nelson, 15 goals, 15 in 32 games, pretty good. He's on 33 point per game pace. Undersley, 10 goals as well. No Dobson, 10 goals. And then guess who has 10 goals? Zach Parise, the fourth fucking guy on the team. That's not a Oliver Wahlstrom, not a Beauvillier, not a Palmieri, not a Barzal. And it's a lot of guys that are below him that under 10 goals, 30 games into the season, really should be scoring more goals. So, I mean, you're getting chipped in play, goals from different guys, but I think I'm not so sure that it's telling a good story right now is kind of where I'm going with this. Like, yes, Nelson and Lee are top goal scorers. That's their game. But, the guys are supposed to be also there. They're not really there. And I don't know if it's just, to me, like it's like we've been getting lucky with some of these goals and a lot of like dirty stuff, getting in there. But man, it's not looking good for me. Like I want to see Barzal scoring more goals. I want to see Wahlstrom, he's got to be 20, 30 goal guy at some point in his career. And I think 20 goals is not, something difficult to ask from him. Same with Beauvillier, Palmieri, who's Mr. $6 million guy. So he's got we're talking about, obviously the cap and how it's not going to change much next year for the Isles. They're going to be very much the same team. There's very few people changing. So these are the guys got to start getting goals aside from the defense being shored up. So, I mean, I'm hoping to see some progress, but, they're not playing badly. They've let games get away from them. And then they have to play this catch up game where they're trying to score goals at the end of the game and, knock shit in, but they really shouldn't have that. They should be scoring goals early, getting the lead, and then playing more, opportunistic and really like leaning into the system that has really helped them get to the conference finals 2 years out of 3. So I'm hoping to see that happen next couple weeks, but that's kind of my fear is right now they're just not there defensively, and then the goals are kind of coming in, but not from the guys you want to see. So I'm feel there's a little bit of fool's gold right now on the statistics that I'm looking at right now with their goals. So this week coming up, next couple weeks, since we're not going to be talking about next week, we got Colorado right now, 0-0 tie in the first period in Colorado at the Rangers, which we were saying is the last Ranger Isles game this year, which really sucks to hear.
Really is fucking stupid.
On the 22nd, it's gonna be my last day of the year for work, so I'm excited to get out of work and then watch that game.
You're still working?
Yeah, I got work till Thursday, which yeah, it's really quiet. But yeah, I got a couple more days, and then Florida next night at home, and then on Friday, and then the 27th and 29th they have Pittsburgh and Columbus at home as well. I think that's pretty much. Oh, they do play against Seattle on the 1st, so it's an 8 p.m. game, so it's not like a in the afternoon kind of thing. So I guess I'll be watching. On Seattle, yeah. Fuck those guys. Screw those guys. I'm talking about us, man. Come on.
Oh, okay, yeah, my bad.
Yeah. So we'll see how it goes, but that's the schedule. I'm hoping that they can get their shit together defensively. Get those those guys that need to be scoring goals going. So that's the plan.
Billy, the Penguins, they were playing really well until they ran into the Carolina Hurricanes. But look, it's not that they played bad in that game. I don't misconstrue what I said, because I thought the Penguins played pretty well, and even DeSmith played well in that game. But Carolina's just a hot team right now.
They are, yeah, and so the Penguins' 7-game winning streak came to an end in Carolina, and I think looking at DeSmith playing that game, I was a little surprised that he got that start, because Jari's been red hot. Jari has an 11-game streak where he has gotten a win or an overtime appearance, so an 11-game point streak, whatever you want to call it for a goaltender, which is the longest of his career. And I can't overstate how good he was through that whole winning streak. Um, the Penguins won all those games, but with the exception of the game against St. Louis, um, they spent some significant portion of every one of those games, like chasing their own tail in their own end, just getting peppered with high quality scoring chances from whoever they were playing, whether it was Columbus or Buffalo or whoever. And Jarry was standing up to all that and did a really great job.
This is in spite of Billy's text verbatim throughout the first 2 months of the season. Kill Jarry. I hate Jarry. Fuck Jarry. They should trade Jarry. I want to kill Jarry. Sorry. Proceed.
Don't think you were actually. I don't think I actually texted all those things. No, he was struggling, and yeah, I shit on him. He was struggling, and then at some point it came out, oh, he was fighting some kind of injury, and then I said, what the fuck? Why was he even playing then? Apparently he's okay now. Yeah, playing at a much higher level. So all's good in Jarry land. But they went with the Smith, which I thought was a strange choice because it wasn't like they were going back-to-back nights. It wasn't like they had a couple nights off going into that game. And it's kind of a sparse time of the schedule for the Penguins right now. They're not playing that often, so I guess maybe they threw him in there to keep him sharp. But I did think after that game that Jarry might have been a difference maker if he was in the net. Not that the Smith played poorly, but like looking at the first goal that Stepan scored, Jarry does not generally give that one up. The second one, I can't pin on anybody. I mean, the second goal he gave up that day was through a screen and a deflection. I mean, what the fuck? No goalie's going to do anything about that. But then the third goal again, which looked like a wide open tip in, and it was Ruhwedel's fuck up that left the guy open to tip that puck in. But even again, Jarry, I'm used to seeing Jarry get across and at least challenge that, and not give him kind of an open net to shoot into. So I thought Penguins overall played a decent game in Carolina, but they lost that one, and I thought that the goaltending could have made a difference, and I do think they were saving Jarry for the next couple of games coming up. Which again, like this is kind of a pivotal point for the Penguins in their season because I do think that they're going to be a bubble team. I do think that they're going to struggle to displace one of the top four teams in the division, especially with the way the Devils came out with the hot start, the Rangers, the Islanders, and obviously the Hurricanes. It's going to be hard for the Penguins to finish out in front of one of those teams, and they're going to have to be really on their game when they start playing, particularly against those teams, which they do this week. And they got the next three after playing Carolina on Sunday. They've got the Rangers and Carolina again, and then the Islanders the following week after the little Christmas break, and then the Devils by the end of next week. So a lot of what goes on in the next couple of weeks is going to start to shape their season and really say are they really a contender to stay up there with those teams or not. So it's going to be interesting to see. And another thing, obviously I kind of mentioned, the Ruhwedel not playing his man for the go-ahead goal against Carolina. That's another one that you look at the absence of Petrie, who, the last week we weren't sure how long-term his injury was going to be. Now we know he's on the LTIR. He's going to be out for a good spell with his wrist injury or upper body injury, whatever they want to call it. Yeah, they're already feeling the effects of missing him too, because that's really the reason why Ruhwedel was in the lineup. So going to be challenging, but again, you just hope that they played a pretty good game. They blew a third period lead, but they played an okay game in Carolina, and you just hope to see them keep that going and not lose all the momentum from the couple of good months that they've had. They really need to be competitive and take a share of the points against those better teams in the division in the coming weeks. Try to stay up there in the standings. So that's what we're looking for the Penguins over the next couple of weeks.
That's $6.25 million on LTIR that you can use on somebody else.
Very true. If he's going to be out even,
yeah,
we'll see how long term that's really going to be.
If there's a shimmer of light on that whole thing.
Mhm.
But hey, look, the Rangers are riding pretty high right now, a 7-game winning streak. And last week we talked about playing the teams, the right teams at the right time. When they played Vegas, Vegas was being decimated by injury. The Avalanche were also being decimated by injury. But then you play teams like New Jersey and Toronto to boost your confidence a little bit. Then you go in Philly and Chicago and get your points. Get your 2 points. I'm going to bring up something right now. So the Rangers in the first 2 months of the season lost to the Predators, who were the number 25 team in the league. They lost to the Ottawa Senators, the number 26 team in the league. They lost to the San Jose Sharks, the 28th team in the league. Columbus Blue Jackets 30, the Ducks to 31st, and Chicago Blackhawks the 32nd team in the league. If you give the Rangers a split of those 6 games, they're number 1 in the Metro. But they didn't. They lost those games, and Halak played the majority of those games. And he played in Philadelphia against the Flyers on Saturday. And you know what? The Rangers kind of won in spite of Halak a little bit. And again, I mean, the Philly is just a fucking mess right now. My goodness, anybody want Kevin Hayes? Does anybody want Kevin Hayes? And then they go in to Chicago and play a Blackhawks team where the last time they played him in New York was the infamous Jacob Trouba throwing a helmet game in the Athanasiou, is that his name? That whole incident, and Trouba scored in this game and chirped at Athanasiou and asked him if he wanted the puck. I thought it was one of the funniest fucking things I've heard all year. After Athanasiou's comments about Trouba having no goals and just going out and hitting people.
I tell you, people did make fun of the whole Trouba throwing the helmet thing, but that's when the streak started.
Make fun of it all you want.
That's when the streak started.
That's exactly. Well, after that, the closed door meeting and that third period against the Blues on the 5th, that is really what sparked this team to play a little bit more cohesive. And you saw everybody, everybody's buying in. You're seeing Panarin, back check and do the little things that are necessary. And even against the Maple Leafs last week, it was the back check on McDavid where he had a pretty wide open net. And a couple of weeks ago, he was bitching and moaning about what were we missing? What did we need? We needed Shesterkin to play like he played at least last year. And like he had a monumental season last year, Vezina Trophy winning, and they needed him to get back to that level of play. And by his own account, he wasn't there.
Editor's note, I think he meant Matthews, not McDavid.
Did I say McDavid?
Yes.
Yeah, it's definitely Matthews plays for the Maple Leafs. I promise you. And we need the kids to score more and get more involved because that's what we were promised at the beginning of the year. So what do we got right now? We got Shesterkin playing lights out and we have the kids contributing heavily to the Rangers offense. And that all equals a 7-game winning streak. And you got a lot of tough games ahead of you, especially in the next 2 weeks with, the Penguins tomorrow night, and you're not going to have Filipino probably. He took. It was on the line about being shitty called the week. He took a late hit from a Blackhawks player and is now back in the concussion protocol. I think he's been in concussion protocol more than Sidney Crosby his entire career.
Well, they set up the protocol after Sidney Crosby got his whole knocking incident.
It should be called the Sidney Crosby protocol.
Exactly.
Understood. But you got to worry about Hedl because it seems like every time he takes a little bit of a hit or a little bit of a shot, he's getting concussed. So you're starting to have a little bit of concern for Hedl when he's just finally. I mean, how many times?
I'm not.
I say this?
I'm
finally starts taking off a little bit, but it's just unfortunate. I don't know if we will see him back this week. My guess is we'll see him maybe next week against Washington or Tampa Bay. But this week you got a big date with the Penguins tomorrow, and probably a very hostile environment for Igor Shesterkin to play in, because he's going to get chirped by the fans probably all night. And then you, as Nick mentioned earlier, we got the last game against the Islanders on the 22nd before the Christmas break. And then you get Washington next week at Tampa Bay on the 29th. And I believe they have the Florida Panthers on the 1st. So tough games, tough road ahead, but 5 games that at this point in the way you're playing, are winnable hockey games. Go out and play your game, and we'll see what happens.
And now it's time for Trivia with Bill. Ugh.
Now this is the wrong Bill.
Which goalie first regularly wore a goalie mask in NHL games?
I love Bill Fougere impressions of Bill Fougere.
Lester Patrick.
Nope.
Conn
That's a trick
Smythe.
question, too.
That's why they named the trophy after him.
No, it was Joe Vezina.
Joe Vezina. No.
Isn't that
That's not a guy.
didn't they name the trophy after him?
Was
No, that wasn't his
Was
first
it-
name.
Fred Goalie Mask?
No. Wow, that would be a hell of a name. What a coincidence!
I thought that's
that would be if your
that's
last
where they
name was
got the
Goalie Mask.
name. I thought that's where they got the name from. His last name.
That'd be a hell of a coincidence. No, it was not Fred
Uh,
Goalie Mask.
Was it Jason
Smith.
Voorhees?
Ooh.
No.
Interesting.
You shouldn't say anything for the rest of the night. That was really, really good.
Jason Mewes.
Snoochy Boochies. No, was not. Not
He,
Jason.
he's-
Mewes.
he leads the clit, right, Nick?
I am the click commander.
Ron Hextall.
No, it was earlier than Ron Hextall played. We have multiple choice. If you're interested.
No, we're not. If you think
Bill Esposito.
Ooh.
Bill, there was a Tony Esposito. It wasn't him. There was a Phil Esposito who was not a goalie. I don't know who Bill Esposito was.
Oh, I said Phil. I didn't say Bill. I said Phil.
No,
Wasn't
you're gonna
it
have to listen back. You're gonna
Listen-
really enjoy
no,
it when you listen
you're
back.
gonna enjoy it. Don't steal my fucking bit either, you motherfucker. Justin Puri.
Oh, goaltender.
Step boy.
Did he invent it?
He did not. He did
Jay
not.
Hutchinson could have wore.
No,
his-
he was the last one to play without it.
should have wore his mask.
Longer.
Oh, Craig McTavish. Duh.
Duh. Yeah.
He wasn't a goalie, and he didn't wear a helmet. How do you get that confused? He was the last player who didn't wear a helmet.
Trick
in the
1
game.
and 2.
Jeez.
John Van Beesbrook.
No, that was the only player in NHL history who had all 5 vowels in his last name.
I
Glenn
knew he was the answer to
Koresh.
some trivia.
No.
Was it Robert Esch, whose nickname was Chico? Because he
No.
had his first initial and last name on his stick. And when he got called up, one of the players on his team was like, when the fuck did we sign Chico Resch? No.
Good story.
That was stellar. Make sure you mark that, please.
So what I was going to say is that this is a kind of a trick question because in the multiple choice, I see the first guy ever to wear a goalie mask, but he's not the answer to the question because they're asking for the first person who regularly wore a goalie mask. How interesting is that?
Dan Buddha.
No.
For those who don't know who Dan Buddha is,
Like me?
he was a
Buddha
goaltender
time,
that
Buddha.
we brought in for the Knights, who was just terrible.
I
He
do
was
remember that guy.
Just terrible.
Yeah. That was the last time we let Tom recommend a player, I think.
No, I know. I recommended Dorito.
Yeah,
No,
really.
no. That doesn't.
Yes.
Although he never saw me play. He's like, hey, you show up.
I don't think he ever saw Dan Buddha play either.
I did. It was pretty bad.
And you still
Did you just think he was
recommended
We needed a body in there.
Did you just think he was a good goaltender because you couldn't score on him?
him.
Is that what
No,
happened?
no. I lit him up. Terry Sawchuk.
No.
Jacques Lemaire.
Oh, you were so close. No, not
Oh.
Jacques Lemaire.
So it was
Tom-
Phil Lemaire.
Tom Lemaire.
No, no.
All of the Lemaire
All
brothers.
the Lemaire family. Just go
No.
up and down the family tree.
Mm,
How
Was not a
about
Lemaire.
John Belleville?
No.
Robert Plant.
He's Led Zeppelin. I never saw him wear a mask for Led Zeppelin.
Oh, Gene Simmons.
He wore that wasn't a mask, that was a makeup thing. But
Oh.
he wasn't a goaltender. No. Simmons, bass player for Kiss. Fantastic.
We lost Tom.
Na, 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 na.
All right, let's go to
Let's some Led Zeppelin.
We're back.
Let's some Led Zeppelin.
let's go to the multiple choice.
Yeah, let's go multiple choice.
Okay. A. Gump Worsley.
Ooh.
B. Glenn Hall. C. Jacques Plant. D. Rob Ray.
D.
No, Rob Ray. I don't know why they put. He wasn't even a goalie. Rob Ray. That doesn't make
What?
sense. But yeah, I don't know why he was on the multiple choice. But no, it was not D.
Okay. Was it Forrest Gump Worsley?
Yeah, he was not Forrest, but no, it was not Gump Worsley. But Gump Worsley was the first guy who wore a mask, but he was not the answer to the
Oh,
question.
that must have been what I was thinking then. Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Fucking Robert Plant, all timer, man. Holy shit. Oh.
So what are the last two?
Glenn Hall or Jacques Plant?
Wasn't Glenn Hall the lead singer of the Eagles?
You're asking the wrong guy. I don't.
Jacques Plant.
Jacques Plant. There you go.
Oh, good job, Tom. Wow. Way to
Ooh.
go.
I had to put that segment out of its misery, or else I've been
Oh,
fucking
Christ.
flying all night.
Not my fault. It's not my fault. You could just guess the right answers.
Well, these trivia questions are so hard.
So difficult.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really hard. Robert Plant. Fuck.
Yeah. Gene Simmons was a really good guess. I don't know.
Robert Plant. Shit.
On Slade.
And now it's time for Impressions with Nick.
Fucking great. Ladies and gentlemen, the Friends of Ralph podcast. Ready for the fastest 2 minutes of this Type 45 show. It's the 20 questions power play. Rules are simple. The group has 2 minutes to guess a famous player, coach, front office, or any famous person associated with one of the 4 Friends and Rivals' favorite teams. The group can ask for 20 questions of rapid fire. Answers can only come in the form of yes or no. The group will have to make a final guess once they've hit 20 questions or the power play is expired. If the group is successful, they win for the week and avoid shame from unable to win at a children's game. And away we go.
Does this player play for the Devils? I'm sorry, is this person associated with the Devils?
Yes.
Robert Plant.
No.
You just ruined a pick.
They cleared the zone on us. Now we got to go regroup.
Was the person also known for playing for the Rangers?
Yes.
Ooh. Is this player a forward?
No.
Player defenseman.
No.
Is this player a goalie?
Yes.
Did this player also play for the Islanders?
Yes.
Is it John Van Beesbrook?
No.
Kirk McLean?
No.
Chico Resch?
No.
Glenn Healy.
No.
No, not Glenn.
Did he play in the 90s?
Yes.
Is it Mike Dunham?
Hey, we got it.
Done. Well done,
Way to
Steven.
go. Way to go.
It's a power play goal.
Fuck you, Sam Rosen.
Hey!
I think that was a carry the puck in, deke through a couple of players and score backhand top shelf.
Well done.
So
That
just
was
for
not an easy one.
the running count, we are 5 for 7.
Fucking killing it.
with the man advantage.
Fucking power play is lethal.
I thought that one would be harder than it was for you.
I got to give the assist to Billy on that one. The 90s really did help out. There weren't a whole lot of Devils goalies in the 90s.
Only a backup.
Brodeur.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Terrari, Brodeur, and who else came after
Right.
Terrari? All right, let's go to this date in Steve's stomach.
Oh, that feels better.
Brought to you by Coca-Cola Zero Sugar.
Right here, we're saving calories. Round here, we all look so lean. Round here, we enjoy Coke Zero, but sacrifice flavor, no. Round here, Coke Zero's the way to go.
This one's going to bring us to the year of our Lord 2015. 2015. Please go to January 13th of 2015.
Oh, nice.
Oh, way to be, Smalls.
January
Zero.
13th, 2015 was a Tuesday. I enjoyed a chocolate chip muffin and can of Coca-Cola Zero for breakfast. Grilled chicken and cheese with bacon, a diet soda, and some cookies for lunch.
Sounds delicious.
And dinner was cheeseburger pie and a can of Coca-Cola Zero. I also went to Michael's and Barnes & Noble's to do a little Christmas returns.
You wrote that down, but you didn't write from fucking Rich Smith went to fucking prison. That's great.
Why did you pick January 13th, 2015?
So this one had to happen before Christmas. This one happened in December, but I had to go with the date on the story. So a 12-year-old South Carolina boy got an unexpected stocking stuffer, a pair of handcuffs, after he snuck into his Christmas gifts a few weeks early, and his mother had him arrested.
Oh, shit.
This mother is wow. 60. She was the mother discovered that her son had unwrapped a Nintendo Game Boy Advance that was meant for him as a present from his grandmother. She called the Rock Hill police, and the young man was arrested for petty larceny. He took it without permission. He wanted it. He just took it. That was me impersonating the mother.
Nice job, Karen.
The boy's 63-year-old great 63-year-old great grandmother.
They
Oh boy,
grown
I just
differently
figured
in
out
South
something about this
Carolina.
family.
Yeah, man.
Oh boy.
Shit. How many teeth does she still have? The great grandmother said she filed the complaint, and then she wrapped the gift and placed it under the tree at her house. Then specifically told the boy not to open it. He apparently said, "Fuck you, great grandma. I'm going to open it anyway." The great grandmother relayed the news to the mother, who was 27. When the boy claimed he didn't know where the present was, the mother threatened to call the cops. On the threat, the boy went to the bedroom and grabbed the $85 Game Boy. The mother still called the police. So it was the mom who called the police, not the great grandmother. I don't know, but getting arrested for opening up a Christmas present early, that's a little over the line.
So when they set bail, did somebody in the same family have to go bail them out? And how much does a fucking Nintendo cost if you gotta go spend bail
the mother
money?
said she didn't know what else to do.
It was
but-
85. You said $85,
Wow.
right?
Well, that's how much the Game Boy Advance was. Mother told police that the boy had a history of bad behavior, including shoplifting from stores and stealing money from them. The mother said he even punched a police officer last month and was arrested for disorderly conduct. Locked this fucking kid up already.
Jesus Christ. Lock the whole family up.
Holy crap. I'm trying to get him some kind of help.
Look up the whole family. Jesus.
Doing a bang up job.
Wowzers. But that's what happened January 13th, 2015. Fox News story, by the way.
Tom's a creep. Tom is a weirdo. Where does he come up with the shit? It's so disgusting.
Outstanding. Very topical given the whole Christmas season.
I had the story.
Very good.
I found this a month and a half ago.
Very topical.
And
I
I've been
like what you did.
I've been waiting. I've been waiting for this segment to come.
The special Christmas episode. Yeah.
Right. Well, okay. Well, let's end the Christmas
lives.
episode. We're going to be gone for 2 weeks. We'll be back and returning. We'll record on the night of Monday, January 2nd, after the Winter Classic. And let's recall some of your favorite Christmas memories.
Jesus Christ.
What do you got? What do you got, Steve? What was your favorite Christmas memory?
I got a BMX bike, and it was.
So you went straight to presents. You know, like I miss seeing family and being with family. You just
No,
go
fuck that.
with materialistic things. I got you.
Yeah. Why would I go with family?
Really, you changed your hat?
Yeah.
When the hell did this happen?
A Billy
I'm
hat.
sorry. I wasn't listening to you. Didn't you say what was our favorite Christmas gift?
Yeah, wait, I'm sorry. What was your favorite Christmas memory? Go.
Oh, memory.
Memory.
Oh, okay, then
Yeah,
I got to
not
go with
present,
getting
not
a BMX bike when I was a young kid.
Was the bike wrapped or was it just
was
like a
no. So the big gift was always a treasure hunt around the house, and the treasure hunt always ended underneath you had to go like underneath my parents' bed. That's where the final gift was. But this time it was in the garage because it was a bike. And it was all, I was all thrown off because I went under the bed and there was nothing there. And then.
If you knew that ahead of time, why didn't you just look under the bed first?
Because you had to go through the treasure hunt. That was the whole fucking point.
Was Joe's there too, or just yours? They like split them up, or they both put them under there?
No, they would be under either side of the bed. Yeah. But in this case, there was a note under the bed that said, haha, go look in the garage. And that's where the bike was.
Nice.
R.L. Osborne's signature edition BMX bike. I know. It was fancy.
R.L. Osborne. Well, there you go. Dorito, what you got?
Christmas memory, I guess. My first, I guess, dog. My dog coming. When I was like 7 or 8. It was like first Christmas in New Jersey or in South Brunswick. My dad got a dog for us as like a family pet, and the dog was in the basement and basically, would bark throughout the morning. And he kept going, oh, that must be the neighbor's dog. And I was dumb enough to be like, that stupid dog.
That dog is loud.
So loud.
Dog.
Like the second or third time, I just kept being like, that dog. I can't remember the dog's name anymore, but I was like, that dog again. My dad was like, you're right.
These walls are paper thin because I hear that dog crystal clear.
And by the way, he would go downstairs. He would be like, 1 minute, guys, right back. And you go down the basement, and then like shh.
He'd go down the basement and say very loudly, you have to be quiet. The kids are upstairs. And Nick and his brother would just be like, oh, do.
Yeah. My brother was barely 1. So the dog came flying in, and when he finally came up, he went right past me, went right to my brother and just jumped on him and like hit his face. My mom was like, oh, leave him alone. I'm like, it was a whole thing. Anyway.
That's adorable.
That's I think my best Christmas memory. That was a pretty good one.
Heartwarming story.
Also, the dog was a crazy maniac dog, and the only nice part of the whole time of his life was basically good story. Yeah.
Was the introduction.
I have so many stories of him being an absolute maniac and biting people and chasing people and all the.
I don't know any dogs like that at all.
Wait, did you ask your dad how Santa Claus brought you the dog?
No, I didn't ask him about that. I was just like, the dog, I didn't care. I didn't give a shit. I didn't ask questions. I was like,
how do you think he brought him?
In the sack.
Yeah. So why would you have to ask?
And why did he put him in the basement? Why did he put him on a fucking tree? Why isn't he wrapped? There's a lot of questions that you should have as fucking.
Can't wrap a dog; it would suffocate you, idiot.
Put a bow on him.
Even 7-year-old Nick knew that.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I knew that one.
I don't know about that.
Jesus.
His neighbor's dog is in the basement. I don't know.
That dog is being really loud.
All right, Billy, what you got?
Well, we always had a Christmas tradition at my house. Like after we would open presents on Christmas morning, we would go actually over to my Aunt Teresa's house, my mom's sister, and we go to her house, and this old house that they had like it's a very cold house, except they had like one of these I don't know, wood burning stoves or something to heat their like living room or whatever. So the whole house was something like 52 degrees until you got within like 4 feet of the stove, and then it was like 9,000 degrees right there. And then there was like a 4-inch space maybe where it was like kind of comfortable, but it was an Italian house. We always had like a big Italian meal, so we're all sitting at the table one day, and like I'd get all my presents, but my mom wouldn't let me like load up the car with all my presents to bring them to my aunt's house. I'd have to like leave all my presents home, grab it like 1 or 2 things, you know. And so like this one year, I was maybe 7 years old. I brought like this awesome little red convertible sports Matchbox car. I don't know, I had something else with me, but like I had this little Matchbox car with me, and I took it to the dinner table because I was like kind of playing around with it at the table. And my brother asked to see it, and so he took it and he started playing around with it, and he was taking a little while to give it back to me, and I was getting annoyed, and finally I started pouting, and it's like I wasn't getting my car back. I kept asking him, and he was teasing me with it. He was being a jerk. So then my cousin asked me, "Hey, what's wrong?" And I just yell out loudly at the table, "My son of a bitch brother won't give me my car back!" And everybody who was, this is an Italian household where everybody's talking constantly, loudly. Everything just went silent at the table. Everything just went dead silent for like 3 seconds. Like my aunt was like passing some bowl of food to somebody, just like stopped dead right there, like holding out this bowl. It just froze. Everybody froze, and then everybody just started going about their day again, like nothing happened after the shock of it all. And then I got a talking to on the car ride home. But
I so thought the car was going to wind up in the fire.
Just melted.
I was just setting the.
I thought that was going to be your punishment for something. Go ahead, Tom. Top us all with your sentimental story.
It's going to be sentimental,
of course.
I just remember that there's a couple. There's like 2 in particular that always stick out in my mind. One was the year that we spent the Christmas in a trailer because our house burned down, and when we did that, my brother Chris and my sister, we woke up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and Santa Claus had already come, and we're out looking at all the presents and stuff like that. And do you remember this doll called? I was 8 years old. This doll called Wrinkles. And it was like one of those talking dogs, and it was like also like a puppet. And anyway, when you press the belly, it would bark and talk and stuff like that. So we accidentally pressed the button at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and fucking the dog, this doll starts barking really loud. So I tried to shut it up. I didn't know any better. I covered its mouth, and that's not where the.
That's not where that. Yeah.
No, absolutely not. And but that one was that was also the year I did not get the GI Joe
aircraft carrier.
But it was every year my mother and my aunt would alternate years having Christmas at their house, and it was all about being with the large Italian family on Christmas. Some of my best memories are that afternoon, that day. Just being with everybody, and I miss those days. I have wonderful memories and new traditions with my kids, but those are really great. I miss those a lot. I do.
So we were never allowed downstairs before my parents. Were you guys that snuck down, and then you were going to sneak back to bed and then go back down?
Yeah, it was this long ranch, and my parents' bedroom were all the way in the back of the trailer, and my brother's bedroom were right up front. So,
but you guys, the reason why you covered the dog's mouth, even though that's not where the sound was coming from, was because you weren't supposed to be there.
Oh, absolutely not. Not if I'm
Okay.
5 o'clock in the morning. Are you kidding? That you can get shot for that.
But would you go to the presents before they were awake?
Oh, we would find them in the closet. Yeah, absolutely.
No, I'm saying on Christmas morning.
We would get up and they would trickle in, but you couldn't get up until at least daybreak.
Okay.
So like 7 o'clock was typically the right time.
No, we couldn't even go downstairs until they said it was okay.
Oh no, my kids are not allowed downstairs until my wife and I are both.
Really?
We all go downstairs together. Oh, my wife is a stickler for that.
Our kids are like me. They're up at like, Ben's up at like 4 a.m, walks downstairs.
And does he start? Oh, he just starts looking at boxes? He doesn't open
feeling
anything.
them, and he might be shaking them. No, he's not allowed to open anything. They can only open their stocking. That's it.
And they still believe?
One left.
Okay.
Me too.
One
I got
left.
one left.
Yeah,
Probably
two
the
of them.
last year.
The two knuckleheads.
Me too. I got one left.
Oh, he's only a freshman in high school. It's okay that he
15.
still believes.
I still have that Wrinkles doll, by the way.
Of course you do.
Oh my God.
Does it still make
See what
noise?
that looks like.
Absolutely.
Can it make a guest appearance on the show on the second?
Yes, you can. I'll go get him. So, hey, listen, everybody, Merry Christmas and a happy and healthy new year. Let's certainly start the new year off right. We'll be back on January 2nd. So don't forget to tune in on the 3rd when we release our show. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at friends_rivals, Facebook, YouTube, Friends and Rivals Podcast. Leave a review for us on Apple Podcasts. We will read on there if you want us to. Turn on notifications so you never miss an episode of the Friends and Rivals Podcast. Billy, say something, Woody.
God bless us, everyone.
Oh yeah, and everybody be safe out there. Tom really
Be
wants
safe.
everyone to be safe.
Not
So
once, but
safe.
make sure you're safe twice.
Be safe. Be safe.
Be safe. Be safe.
Safe.
Be very
I
safe.
fixed it, by the way. Now, Billy, you can go ahead and sing us out now.
Oh, my friends and rivals. Flyers fuck, flyers fuck, flyers fuck off. Flyers fuck, flyers fuck, flyers fuck off.
No. Type 45. There he goes.
Oh boy.
We almost had it tonight.
We're close.
He had to run away.
So, any
Was
other
Bill-
good presents you guys get?
Was Bill allowed downstairs before the parents were
No,
downstairs?
but I would sneak down while people were sleeping. I knew how to tiptoe down those steps and not be discovered.
Not getting
and
hurt.
then the year that I knew Santa Claus was I knew the Santa Claus thing. I won't say what it is. Spoiler alert. I knew the Santa Claus thing, but my parents still thought that I didn't know the Santa Claus thing. So one year I found the whole bag of presents already wrapped up in the attic. I was up there, fishing around for something else. So I kept on sneaking back up there to peel back paper, see what the hell was going on there. That was the year I got the big mask haul, the mask cartoon show. Oh my God, that was exciting. Knowing that I had Rhino upstairs for like 3 weeks before I could open it.
Just wait. That probably made the month take even longer.
Oh, it did, man. But what a haul. That was awesome. When I finally got to open them.
Jelly.
Can't believe I went present and he got all sentimental. Fucking asshole. I knew he was going to do that. What a jerk off.
I thought we were going to the five.
He
five
said
presents
toy.
thing.
He said present in the text in the pre-show meeting.
That's what I thought.
At the moment.
What a fucking jerk off.
I have my top 5 all ready to go too.
Go ahead. While we're waiting for him to get back, make it quick.
Number 5, tickets to a Giants Raiders game. Number 4, G.I. Joe. I'm going to go with the Tomahawk, but it was all the G.I. Joe shit that year.
Oh yeah.
Number 3, the mask thing that I just mentioned. Number 2, a Tony Granato jersey, my first hockey jersey.
Ooh.
And number 1, Atari 2600.
So here's an
Nice.
interesting Atari story. My parents one year in Atlantic City, and it was when Atari was coming out. So they bought us an Atari, and they would stay up and play it after we went to bed.
Really?
So Christmas morning, when we hooked it up and started playing, they were really good at all the games. And we were like, what the fuck? How did you get so good?
That's awesome.
They were playing it for weeks and weeks and weeks.
That's funny. We had before. Do you guys remember the Sega Master System? Before, like when the Nintendo came out, Sega had their own system that was big in Japan. It came over here as well before the Genesis. So when
yeah, you played like Outrun on that.
Yeah, I think I was. We were in Edison, so I think I was like 5 or 6, and it came like one Christmas. The whole system was there with like all these different games and shit, and I was too young for any of it. There's no way it was for me. To this day, I'm pretty sure my dad bought that through some, whatever, because it came with like a whole bunch of shit. It was like a bunch of games. It had like, different controllers and shit. It wasn't like a standard.
It was like some sort of special pack.
He must have got something. Yeah, it must have something happened. But I'm pretty positive he bought this thing thinking, I'm buying this for Nick, but I'm going to play the shit out of this thing. And I'm pretty sure he did that. He realized pretty quickly it wasn't for him after a little bit. Because he stopped playing. Like, they had like they played this airplane simulator, like jet fighter simulator campaign.
Yeah.
They were like, if you go back and play those games, they're kind of like, it's kind of crazy. Like, how the fuck do you it's all just the boxes and shit. And well, it's built more than that, but it's like all
for Nintendo was like that.
Yeah. But it's like all the the what's the word for it? Like the in the cockpit, you have all the dials and all the
gauges and stuff.
Gauges, and all you're going off is the gauges. Like it's really hard to see where you're going, and like you go up, figure out what your orientation is and everything in terms of the ground. Yeah, it's some golf game and some other bullshit, But it was like I was like, like years later, I was like, why the fuck did he buy this? Like, he didn't play video games.
I was too young.
I was way too young. Like when we got a Nintendo, a year or two later, I was like, that was more
age appropriate.
That was like the biggest fucking thing. I was like, holy shit. Because I didn't have a Nintendo. My friends all had Nintendos. I didn't Sega Master System, That wasn't cool.
No, that's like having fucking beta instead of VHS.
Yeah. And then I played the shit out of the Super Mario World or Super Mario Brothers until I beat it. That was like, I had to play it until I could beat it.
I don't see any wrinkly dog, Tom.
I couldn't find him. I don't know what the hell I did with him. I checked in the 3 spots I thought he was going to be.
January 2nd, people are going to have to wait. I know they're going to be sitting on the edge of their seat until then.
I will find him.
Push the show to 8 hours just so he couldn't find the dog.
Well, I didn't want to make it 10 hours.
Oh.
So, all right.
So proud of this dog that I can't find.